Hello, my name is Amanda Thompson, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some research that I have found on depression and the gut microbiome. We're going to be exploring the links between mental health and gut bacteria, some research and mechanisms, the current treatments available, as well as taking a short dive in some promising potential treatments for improving mental health. So, what is depression? Depression is a mental health disorder where there's actually a chemical imbalance in your brain, which could also possibly be linked to your gut health. There are a lot of symptoms that encompass depression, but some of the ones that are, talked about a lot consist of sadness, feeling hopeless, lonely, as if your situation will never change, feeling fatigued and tired all the time. People with depression may have changes in their appetite where they may eat a lot or snack a lot. And then there are others with depression who just may not feel like eating at all. There are changes in their sleep pattern. A person with depression may sleep all the time and never feel like they get enough sleep. And then there may be others with depression who just can't sleep at all. And then there's also difficulty in concentrating and completing tasks. So a person who doesn't have depression may be able to complete a task with ease and quickly. And then the person with depression may take that same easy task and it become very daunting for them, and they may be unable to complete the task because their mood is so depressed. In addition to that, we have some prescription medications that are on the market and that have been on the market for years, which are SSRIs, and they are serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And then there are SNRIs, which are actually serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. So what these drugs are designed to do is they're designed to help regulate your mood by balancing out the chemicals in your brain. And then we have psychotherapy approaches for depression. And those include cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps you to reorganize and change your thought process. So gets you from thinking in such a negative manner into one that's more positive. And then the other thing, treatment linked to helping with depression is actually just lifestyle modifications. So changing your diet, exercising, attending support therapy groups with others who suffer with depression to possibly, find some other coping mechanisms on how you can help yourself deal with your depression. But all in all, these treatments, they aren't 100% effective. And so this could still leave the patient being depressed and then frustrated because the treatments that they're using is not helping. They're still depressed. They still feel hopeless. So being able to understand the basics that we're going to discuss today can actually help us to see why exploring new treatment avenues like gut health is actually important and possibly essential for those who suffer with depression. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that our gut contains trillions of microbes? Like trillions of microbes. Well, it does. And those include things such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, and protozoans, which are actually, all in all, essential for our health. The gut-brain axis communication. Let's talk a little bit about that. So it's actually the communication center that links our digestive system to our brain. And this includes neural, immune, and even chemical signals. So what happens here is the gut microbes send immune signals known as cytokines to the brain through the vagus nerve, to then the immune system, and then from there to our hormones. So when our gut microbiome is out of balance, it can actually lead to inflammation, which may affect our mood, which in turn can cause depression and anxiety. So it's clear to see that maintaining a healthy diet and exercise can actually be very essential for gut health. Adding a regimen of psychobiotics can positively influence your central nervous system via your gut-brain axis as well. So psychobiotics actually produce neuroactive substances like serotonin and GABA, and these help to maintain gut microbiomes, which in turn promotes a healthier mental state. So research shows that certain gut bacteria strains such as Bifidobacterium can positively influence your mood, while other strains of bacteria could do the opposite, inhibit and depress your mood. So imbalances in our guts actually increase the intestinal permeability, which allows harmful substances to then enter into our bloodstream, and this is what we call the leaky gut. This affects your brain, signaling, and your mood. So people with depression, they often seem to have fewer beneficial bacteria like Faecolobacterium. They have more pro-inflammatory bacteria in their gut, such as Proteobacteria. So these changes can actually disrupt the serotonin production as it increases inflammation throughout your body. And this suggests that gut bacteria may actually play a direct role in the development or the severity of depression. So restoring the microbial balance through diet, exercise, and probiotics actually shows promise in alleviating depression and anxiety symptoms. So how does the gut bacteria affect the brain? Our gut bacteria is actually responsible for producing the neurotransmitters of serotonin and dopamine. And these are essential for regulating our mood and our emotional health. So most of the body's serotonin is actually produced in your gut wall. And the metabolites produced by gut bacteria influence the HPA axis, which is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. So this affects the body's response to stress and overall mental health. So inflammatory signals originating from the gut can cross the protective blood-brain barrier, and then once that occurs, these signals can alter our neural activity and brain function, potentially contributing to depression and anxiety. The microbiota gut-brain axis is actually complex. It's biodirectional networking that connects the gut and the central nervous system through various pathways. And these pathways are nerves, hormones, and even immune cells. So this axis actually allows for continuous communication between the gut microbiome and the brain. So it's kind of clear to see how your gut health could directly affect your mental health. So treatments targeting the gut. There are potential treatments that focus on restoring the healthy gut microbiome, and those include probiotics like the Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium. And then there's also prebiotics, which is fiber-rich foods. And then also being studied are psychobiotics, which we briefly discussed earlier, that specifically target your mood by modulating the gut-brain axis. And then the promising potential treatment that we also had mentioned earlier is the fecal microbiota transplantation. Interesting enough, this is a study that they're still experimenting on this, but it's transplantation fecal matter from an healthy individual, so a healthy donor. They're taking their stool and they're placing it into one who is experiencing depression, and the gut microbial so is going to restore the gut microbial diversity in the person's gut that has depression. And as of now, this is actually showing promise for the treatment of depression. So we'll see if it'll be out on the market soon. And then listed here are the peer-reviewed articles that I used for this presentation today, and the sources provide the scientific foundation for the information that I have shared with you. In closing, I would like to say that it is clear for me to see that through the research that I have done, how the old verbiage of depression is only linked genetically is somewhat of a myth. So be sure to take care of your gut and make it a healthy one.